Hi, the project for this week is to build a bridge across this stream here. When working with this project, I thought it's best to do some type of design. So I have a design here. This is my design of, like this design of my bridge. I'm going to start with the posts, the 4 posts, which I have here. I have this is redwood or common wood. I want to measure it up, so I estimated about 110 centimeters high. That's how high I want these posts and the railing. And also want to make sure that it's wide enough so I can get a wheelbarrow through here. That was my goal. So if I need to carry stuff around the back, I can do that. Just use a spade to dig a hole here. So I've dug my hole approximately the height I want. We'll just put it and we'll measure it. It's about 110 centimeters. About the height I want. I'm going to leave that for now. I'm not going to fill it in. I'm going to do the other 2 poles now. Okay, so I've dug my 4 holes, put my posts in there. I haven't filled it in yet, so I just wanted to get a rough idea of where they should go. This side here is going to be a little bit tricky for me because the path goes to the left rather than straight. But all I'll do is I'm going to start with this one here. I'll get this one here square and just right, and then I'll base this one from that one, and then I'll probably start with that one, and this one here I'll just move it. So just going to fill this one here in. I could put cement in here. I was thinking about that, but for now I won't. I'll just fill it in with dirt. But if you feel like you need to put cement in there, you go ahead and do that. So I need to have a little bit of room at the back so I can attach the nut to the bolt at the back there. So I've got 2 inches there. That's enough for what I need. So just make sure that when you're doing this, there's a little bit of a gap there for you to attach the bolt. The next part is to get this part level. Hole here level. So, okay, here we have it. I've done all 4 poles now. Make sure that they're both level this way, and this way on all 4 of them. I also measured the distance between here and here to make sure they're right. The distance from here and here, make sure they match both this side and that side, and this side and this side. So they all match exactly. That's what you want to do. Make sure they're really nice and stable. If you can line them up this way so they both match. The board will go on this side and this side, so make sure they line up this way as well. Okay, that's the hardest part done, I think. So now that I have these poles in, the next part is to get the baseboards in on either side here. And what I want to do is, because I'm going to put an arc in the bottom baseboard, we don't want it to end here. We want it to end a bit further off, probably about 1 foot off the post here, so we have enough area for the bolts to go into the wood here. So I'm going to measure from this side to this side and add 1 foot on each side about before I cut my wood. Okay, now it's time to do some calculations. I've bought a 10 foot by 12 inches redwood board. That's what I'm going to use for my bottom baseboard with the arc. So the idea is I'll try to draw this as best as I can. It's the halfway point. An arc that goes like this. It's not such a good arc, but and then the bottom part there as well. So the tricky part is to get this perfectly rounded, and to do that we're going to have to do some calculations to get the right arc. And the idea I have here is I'm going to just draw a line down there. This will be a circle, so from here to here there's a point there, I'm going to put like a string, and at the end I'm going to have a pencil, and from that point I'm going to draw my line of arc there. We need to figure out what length from here to here do I need to put my pin so I can do this arc. Now from that point to that point we know is R. That here to here is 12 inches. So we have a right angle here, and we know that this length here from here to here is R minus 12 inches from here to here, because that's 12 inches and that's the radius. So using Pythagoras theorem, should we know what this length is here? Because I said this is a 10 foot, so that's 5 foot here, from there to there. So then we know that in Pythagoras, that squared plus that squared equals that squared. So R minus 12 squared plus 5 foot squared equals R squared. So you want to convert this to inches. So what's that, 60 inches. So we know this here is 156 inches. So with that, now I can figure out where I need to put my pin so I can do my arc, which is this point here is 156 from the top here to here, 156 inches. I'll put a pin and draw my line. First thing I'm going to do is just mark my halfway point. Okay, I'm just going to put a nail in a piece of wood here, and that could be my where I tie the string around. Okay, so the radius is from the top of the board to what you measured. So my example was 156 inches, I think. Now, so on this end, I just want to put some weight on the board so my pin doesn't move. I've got my daughter helping me out with this part. If you could hold the pencil in that line up there, fairly tight. Just put it over the edge. And I'm going to try to is that on the edge now? Okay, I've cut my first piece. Now what I'll do is I'll grab a second piece, put this on top and mark it, and cut the second one. I got to measure the bottom arc and cut that. So I'm going to do that now, and I thought the easiest way is I'm going to use a square and do about how much I want the arc to be in the middle section, which isn't very much. And I'm just going to put a and here's the bottom arc, so I'll do exactly the same for the other. Okay, you can see I've placed the boards here. And I just need a little bit of work with getting them level. This one's a lot higher than this side, but also here. So I need to level both sides, and also this grass here, this will be covered. I'm putting planks across here from here to here. I'll need to get rid of all this grass at the front here. So this part is about leveling this side and the other side so they're both level here. So now I've done the weed mat. We've done the weed mat here on both sides, so I'm ready to put the baseboards on top and drill them in. Now I'm going to choose to go this way and not that way so it doesn't stick out. This will be nice and flush against there, and this will be underneath the bridge. Now to we're going to do these center posts. The idea is to get them center here. I've already cut them to the right length. I measured the height from here on that side to be the same on this side. So I'm going to bolt them in here after I get this all leveled up and straight. Okay, now I've got my posts in. I'm just going to tighten up all the ends, and then I'll be ready for the next part, which is putting on these boards across this way. The next step that I want to do is one of these floor beams at the very end of both this side and that side, and I'll secure them to the side beams here, and that'll be my start. So the next thing I want to do is just line up these floorboards all the way across. The best way to measure the distance for each of these is, what I'll do is I'll put the measuring tape from the outside of this board to the inside of the one I did over there. So to the inside of this board, and then what I'll need to do is count the number of boards excluding the last one. So I have 30 boards all up, take away that one there, so 29 divided by that measurement I did, and that's the spacing I'll use to do each of these. Now I'm up to about here. One thing I've noticed is these two holes are tending to go out, so I'm going to put a railing on. I want to make sure that they don't go out too far. So I'm going to put a bit of rope from one side to the other at the same distance as this. So when I put these boards in, it won't bow out. It will, try to match up with these ones. So okay, now that I've wiped it all down with just a wet rag, get rid of all the dust, I'm ready to oil. Just using clear oil, I'll do one coat and see how it looks. So here I've finished oiling all the boards. So the next part I want to do is the hand railing. Now, it was difficult for me to find wood that would curve and be flexible enough for the railing, so what I did instead is I got this, I think it's called Trex board. It's like a plastic and that'll bend quite easily. It was 8 inches wide and I got them just to cut it down the center in half. Okay, I've cut these hand railings to the length that I want. The other thing I did is, I'm not sure if you can see it here, but there'll be a gap. So I've just cut this straight here, and of course this is an angle, so there'll be a bit of a gap on one side. And just to make it look a little better and probably help it go in a bit more secure, I've cut these wedges in here just so it has the same angle and shape as the railing here. Okay, so what I'll probably have to do here is loosen both these bolts. Because of the angle, I'll probably get just a piece of wood or wedge or something and put it in the bottom here so I can get the angle up. And put the horizontal beams across there on the outside. The next part is to put these vertical beams